Okay, I just want to start this video by saying this is just going to be combat tips, and there's likely things that I've missed. This is the game's literally only been out probably less than 24 hours. Okay, as I'm at the time that I'm recording this, but I am a combat fiend. Okay, I'm a washed up Naraka Blade Point player, and I'm a retired For Honor player. And then I beat Elden Ring, so that's the kind of competitive kind of combat I come from. So I'm a combat fiend. That's why I wanted to play this game. So that's what I'm going to be covering. Okay, so I've got 9 different points that I want to just point out for a newer player or anyone that's just struggling with the combat in general. So first off, not even like getting into parrying off the bat, we're going to talk about dodging. If you are unsure of what the boss is going to do, or whatever enemy you're fighting, you're scared of taking any damage, or you might get one shot or something, because I've been one shot. Okay, I fought level 45 random enemies in the world at level 20. I've beat them, but it definitely took a few tries, and you get one shot whenever you get hit. It sucks. But if you're scared of getting hit, you might get one shot. What you want to do is, when they even flinch, when they go to attack, just dodge back. Just take a step away. Just observe their movements. You don't always have to just go in and just keep swinging until something happens. You just want to dodge away, and that's what we call resetting. You back away and you observe their movements, okay? And you wait to see what they do, and then react off of that. Wait for your opening. Second thing I want to get into is I'm gonna have examples playing in the background for just gameplay for fighting a boss. We're gonna have examples of all these playing in the background while I'm talking. Okay, so second one is switch dodging. What you can actually do is you can swap out characters, and when that different character comes into the field, they activate a skill, and usually they dive in from the sky. And what that can do is actually, like, when the boss or whatever goes to hit you, and you know you're not dodging or parrying this attack, you can just swap your characters, and it will dodge the attack for free. And who knows, you might get a parry off of that too. I'll get back to that later, but you can dodge it for free. So make sure whenever you're going to get hit, I have an example playing right now. You just switch your characters and you dodge the attack, no problem. So I'm calling that switch dodging. I'm going to dub that the term. And now we're going to get into parrying. The importance of parrying. So every time you parry boss, you're going to do damage to a chunk of their I'm going to call it their posture, because that's what every other fighting game calls it, posture. Okay, and then once you break that enemy's posture, they're going to be staggered, and they're going to be vulnerable for a period of time, at which you can deal a lot of damage to them. Those damage windows are where you just want to go absolutely crazy, just chucking everything at them, because they can't fight back, obviously. So it's as simple as that. When it comes to parrying, you just want to make sure you take down that posture. I believe basic attacks do tiny chips posture damage, but it's not a lot at all. What you mainly want to go for if you want to break posture is parries. It was something called I'm just going to call it a clash parry. Basically what it is when you and the boss do like a string of attacks, and you're just spamming attack, and the boss is just spamming attacks, and the boss throws out an attack that is parryable. Since you and the boss are spamming attacks, there's just things happening. It'd just be really hectic, then all of a sudden it's just gonna flash, and you're gonna get a parry out of nowhere. I'm just gonna call that a clash parry. It's completely random. You're just throwing attacks back and forth, essentially clashing, and you just get rewarded for it. It's not something that is reliable. It's definitely not something you should do, but it is something that most certainly can happen and is huge when it does happen. I do have an example on screen just to explain where I'm coming from when I say clash parry. Usually when those happen, those are pretty cool, but it's not a reliable source of parries. Another thing I want to touch on is parry dodging. So what you can do in the game is when you go for parry, go for the parry, and then you can immediately dodge. And what that'll do is set you up for either getting the parry or not. So once you put in for that parry and maybe you miss it, you already have a dodge inputted to like have a safety net. Like regardless, you don't get hit by the attack. You went for it, you tried, it didn't work, but you got out. You know, I have an example of that on screen of me doing it several times. It is a very reliable way of not getting hit and not taking damage, because you guarantee yourself a get out of jail free card. Is the best and the most important form of parrying in the game. It'll prevent you from taking any damage. It's a pretty cool mechanic. Maybe it's not intentional, but it's a cool little piece of utility that you can use. Recommended. Definitely like go in a game and get used to doing that. If you want to be a sweaty player, that is the way. Another thing I want to point out is swap parrying. When you swap parry, what that is you swap to a different character, and that character will come in with a dive attack or maybe a special attack with their ultimate, and you can actually time that to land on a parry for massive damage and an interruption. If you can time it right. I'm not too sure on like the huge benefits of doing it, but it is definitely something that is viable and can be done. Another thing I want to cover is swap posture breaking. What's very interesting is when you have a character like with Calcharo, thank God I got that character. I didn't have to reroll. First account, summoned, I got him. Thank the RNG gods, because that's the character I wanted. I don't have to make a new account. But either way, swap posture breaking. When a character is using an ability, what is interesting is sometimes they can be left out on the field, so they'll use that attack. You can switch to another character, and the character that you were using initially will finish their attack and deal damage and deal posture damage while you're already swapped to the other character. It is something I haven't been able to expand on or test very much, but it is something that can be done and is very interesting. I recommend other people go out there and test it, try it out, and tell me in the comments like what you're able to find out with that, because that is a very interesting thing that you can do in the game. Another thing I want to point out is boss interruptions. I don't know if you've noticed yet. Obviously, it's still early into the game. Everyone's learning things, but you can for certain bosses, when they're doing like a swooping attack from the air, I believe they'll like flash red, and in that attack they can be interrupted, and when they're hit in the air they get knocked down and they're stunned, as though you broke their posture by parrying, which is also really good. It's a different kind of knockdown effect, quotation marks, but it is essentially the same thing, which is pretty cool. I don't know how to consistently interrupt. I have an example for all these on screen. I don't know how to specifically and intentionally interrupt a boss's attack, but I have done it before. It is also a very interesting mechanic to learn. Last thing is the importance of ranged characters. Okay. I did see before the game's release, people kind of undermining ranged characters. They are extremely essential, especially when you're trying to understand a boss's moveset and what they're gonna do in certain situations. Ranged characters are good for kind of just sitting in the back lines and just seeing what happens. And then once you get in there with your melee character, you understand what's gonna happen and what the boss is gonna do, so that you don't get rolled when you go into melee combat with the boss. It is also just good chip damage. Another thing about range characters is, I don't know if this is just for dang, I forgot his name, the dragon dude with the white lab coat. Looks really cool. One of my favorite characters in the game. When they dodge an attack, the special attack that you're given after that dodge is a form of an interruption, which will interrupt attacks, which is also extremely valuable. Melee characters don't do that. I don't know if like characters with like big heavy swords can do that, but I know that gun characters can interrupt bosses after a dodge, which is pretty cool. And that's all the tips that I have for today as far as combat goes. I will obviously continue sweating in this game. I will be doing I'll be posting like no hit runs for bosses and things like that, just because I'm a tryhard little kid, bro. New mechanics for the tryhards out there. I helped you guys out. I hope for the casual players, this also helped you understand the game a little bit better. All right. I hope more videos like this coming later. See ya.